Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm here with another episode of the hashtag Little Bits of Lace 2024 hosted by Cori Dahmen. And again, I will have Cori's video in the description box if you are curious about seeing the original video. I also encourage everyone to use the hashtag Little Bits of Lace 2024 to look and see what everyone else is doing here on YouTube. And of course, you're more than welcome to join in at any time. And for today's episode, I decided one thing that I like to do with my little bits of lace is I like to create these ribbon crimp embellishments. They could also be called tassels, or also you can make them into bookmarks if you're just using one piece of lace with a ribbon crimp. And I thought I'd show you a couple, and then we could make a couple also on this video. So here's kind of a basic one that I have made in the past, and I just got to adjust it here so that you guys can see it a little bit better. But here's one with the little bits of lace, and then this one had some rickrack in it. And then I also chose to add a charm and a couple of little beads attached to it. But there's kind of one that's a little bit more basic. Here's a little fun one that I've also created in the past before. This one you can see I have a piece of like jewelry, junk jewelry that was broken that I added to it. And there's this layer of lace, this pretty layer of lace. There's also this layer of lace, and then I had some tulle in the background, and I don't know if that's going to show up on camera unless I hold it really close. So there's that second sample. Here's another fancier one. This one's been in my stash for a long time. I usually have this one hanging in front of me just for a reminder of this idea. So this one I've had hanging for a long time in my stash. But again, this one I had a little charm, a little key charm, and several layers of pretty lace. This one has some tulle on it also. And then this is like a remnant off some lace. And then this piece right here came off of a pillowcase. It was like a ruffle on like a fancy pillowcase, but I had used that little remnant piece on the back of this one. And I made this one right before I started filming, just as kind of another little sample one. And I have the pretty little charm. And this one I wasn't able to put this little bit of lace in the ribbon crimp up at the top, so I actually glued it on the very top. So this dangle lace I glued on the top, but then under that I had this remnant of a lace, and then also this one, and then there's some tulle. So I just wanted to show you that one. And then here's a bookmark, or you could use it as a marker in your journal. And I didn't make this one. This one was gifted to me by Deanna Marie, who's handmade by Deanna Marie here on YouTube. And it's kind of the same idea, but she used some velvet trim, but you could use certain types of lace to do the exact same thing. You can see the little ribbon crimps at the end, and then she added some beautiful vintage looking charms at the end. So I just wanted to throw this one on there just for an idea. And so of course you guys, we'll start off with one of these little fun ones here, and you are going to need some little bits of lace. I have a decorative piece that got cut off of some trim that I've had in the past. Same with this one. This one came off of some sort of wedding lace trim. And then I had this little bit of lace. And then I'm also choosing to add a layer of tulle. Again, you don't have to do that. You are also going to need a ribbon crimp. And so I kept a package that's still in the package, so you can kind of see what it says up at the top, so you know what you're looking for. Like this one says curved ribbon crimp, but you're basically looking for just ribbon crimps. And usually you find these wherever you find your beading at the big box stores. I'm sure you can do a search probably on Amazon and find it. And here's what they look like. This one was just called curved because it's the shape on the bottom. But you can see I have several different styles in here. I like the ones that are a little bit longer, but you can also find ones that are very small, like this one, where you would maybe only use, you know, one or two little pieces of ribbon in that one. You're also going to need, besides your little bits of lace, I find it helpful to have some sort of needle nose plier or something similar. This is a needle nose plier. This one's similar, but it has a little bit flatter on it. And this is usually the one I use. I don't know what this one's technically called. I'm also going to choose to hang some charms from mine. If you want to use them in your junk journals, I would look for flatter charms. If you're going to use it for something else, other ideas, here's some jewelry. And I had these little heart embellishments that I found the other day. I think they originally came from Michael's in the beading section. You could also add some sort of like cameo or other thicker jewelry piece. But again, if they're too thick, they're going to add bulk to your journal. I'm just trying to decide which one of these I want to use. I think I'm going to use that one on this one. And then you're going to need your ribbon crimp. And here's kind of a little bit more of a tarnished, you know, antique looking silver one. So I'm going to use that one for this one. And I will zoom in. So hopefully you can maybe see a little bit better what I'm doing here. So I am going to start off with my back piece and work my way forward. So I do have the tool. And then I'm going to choose to put this layer of lace on top of it. And what I want to do is I want to line up the tops the best I can. You can always trim stuff off the sides or the bottom if you want at the end. So I don't worry about that. So I have them lined at the top. I'm going to add this pretty piece of lace next. And again, I'm not going to be able to hook it all in there under the ribbon crimp. So I'm just going to put this top one so that they're all lined up together. And then my last piece of lace is this one. So I would have that lined up at the top. So you can see that they're all lined up at the top. And the next step is these are open. These ribbon crimps. So hopefully it's not too blurry, I guess. And we are just going to stick all that layer inside of here, and you want to make sure that everything's inside. So make sure you take a peek at the sides to make sure you didn't forget a layer in there. And then I'm going to take my needle nose pliers or whatever you're going to use, because you're basically going to close it. And you just do that. It's really easy. You just do it by pushing in and closing it. And it's as simple as that. I'm just doing it a couple of times just to make sure that the whole thing is closed. And you can see it caught all those pieces of lace. And now we have a fun little embellishment. And before I go any further with this, I'm just going to kind of take a look at it just to see if I want to cut down anything on the sides. And I think I do. I don't like all of this tulle showing on the side, so I'm just going to trim off a little bit on the side. And I'm good with the rest of that. So now to decorate it, usually the ribbon crimps have some sort of little like half eyelet type thing up at the top or hook there. And so you can just add whatever you want. And so I have this little charm that's been in my stash, and I added the little pearl to it, and I'm putting it on. This is like called a gourd pin, a bulb pin. They're also called garment pins. So if you search again on Amazon, usually you can find them. You can get them in different colors. This one's kind of the closest I can find that matched the ribbon crimp that I have in my stash. So it's again kind of a antique silver. And so that's what it looks like. And as far as using these in a junk journal, you could attach this as a tassel. You could attach it somewhere on the cover. You could also hang it off of a tag, or maybe a top of a page. You could put an eyelet and then hook this into it. So there's a couple of different uses for these inside of your junk journal. If you are not someone who makes journals, I love using these on tops of gifts when I send out Happy Mail to people and I wrap it with a little ribbon or something, I will attach this to the ribbon just as a little extra embellishment. So just a couple of ideas on how to use this piece. And then I thought I would show you one more, same idea how you put it together, but I'm just going to use a little bit skinnier pieces of lace. And I don't know if I'm going to use all of these. I just dug them out real quick from my little stash of extra bits. And this one, I think I have some seam binding, so I think I'm going to add that one in there also. So that really isn't lace, but it'll work. And I think this one's really fun, this trim right here. So I do want to add that. And I have this piece of lace I'm going to add. I'm just digging here to see what else I dug out. Here's a little bit more delicate one. I think that one's really pretty, so I want to add that one. And then I have just some basic ribbon. I'm going to add that one in too. And again, what I want to do is I'm going to make sure my tops are all parallel because it's going to make it easier to put it into the ribbon crimp. And I want to see if I can maybe add, I don't know if it'll let me add another piece of lace or two. I'm going to try it and see if they'll all fit. If not, I'm going to take out some of them. So I think they're all parallel and they're all lined up at the top. And this one, looks like I kind of already tried to use this one and then decided not to because it's already somewhat closed. So I want to see if I can open it up better. If not, I'll just choose a different one. Sorry about that. But I guess we're not all perfect, so I thought I had everything set out here for the video, but I just want to see if I can open it up again or not. Yeah, that worked. So I was able to open it up. Part of it was smashed in, and so that's what the problem was. So now I got to start all over again because I kind of dropped them. So again, I'm just going to line up all the tops together. Again, it doesn't really matter what order you put them in. I just try to make sure that maybe all the front sides are facing forward. And again, everything up at the top needs to be parallel. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to add them all into your ribbon crimp. And what will happen is if it's not parallel up there and you put this on, you might miss adding a piece in there. And usually I hold this a little closer to my face, so that's why I'm kind of struggling here a little bit on camera to get all these pieces in. But I think we can do it here. I'm hoping this one will fit in there and it's not too fat, because I really think that's pretty, that piece of trim. So let's give it a try and see if I have too many layers or not. And it looks like I have too many layers, so I'm going to have to take one off. So I'll take this one off. And we'll just go without that one. And I kind of moved everything up at the top. So I'm just going to snip it so that everything's parallel. And again, I'll try and hold this one. This one's a little easier to hold up and show you how you just slide it in there. And then I'm going to carefully snip it closed here. And so everything's attached. I'm pulling on it pretty good there. And again, to just finish this one off, I'm going to add a little embellishment. This one has love on one side and the heart on the other. I like this charm because it looks nice on both sides. And I'm just going to add it to the top right here. Onto my bulb pin or gourd pin. And that's what that one looks like. So, so again, that was the first one, the second one we made. So again, I wanted to thank everybody so much for watching today. Hopefully I inspired you with another idea on how to use up your little bits of lace. And I will see you back next time for another episode. Until then, have a wonderful day and happy crafting.